Well, this week's Foti High Five is about a man who's out of this world, a former NASA astronaut. But believe it or not, going to space was not his dream. Foti Kalurtis explains why his current mission earned him a Foti High Five.
The year 1992, it would be the fourth and final space mission.
It was one of the best times of my life.
For Houston's own David Hilmers, the mission investigates the effects of microgravity on living things. In his career, he logged just under 500 hours in space. Hilmers said each time he looked down on our world, he was reminded
that wasn't my real dream.
There was something far bigger, far greater that he needed to be doing. He had dreams about it as a kid.
My dream, even when I was a small kid, was to be a doctor doing global health.
Just months after that final mission on Discovery, the former Marine and Vietnam veteran enrolled in med school.
Nothing really takes the place of seeing the smiles on a patient's face.
Dr. Hilmers began the biggest mission of his life, treating men, women, and children in impoverished countries.
They're real people. They have real problems.
Personal photos from his medical missions in Romania, helping children with AIDS, to war-torn Iraq. And in Africa, Hilmers treated tens of thousands of people in refugee camps, making house calls in Ethiopia and in Nepal.
Some of our patients just say, we count the days until you return again.
Just last week, Hilmers was in North Korea, helping hundreds there with a hepatitis B outbreak that's killing so many.
Although I have a lot of difficulties with the policies of the leaders of the country, it's not the fault of the people that are there.
Dr. Hilmers hopes the acts of care and kindness he shows may do something else, heal relations with our enemies to bring about peace. Dr. David Hilmers, an American treasure, the world's doctor, and a lifesaver. And for all he's done, Dr. Hilmers gets this week's Foti High Five.
Thank you.
Amen.
Oh, how wonderful. Give him two high fives, right?
Got it.
Oh, my goodness. Well, if you know someone who deserves a high five, send your nominations to news@abc13.com, or you can post your story on social media with the hashtag Foti High Five. Boy, I just love these stories.
Yeah. In God's garage, the old...
We're changing the spark plugs this morning.
...is transformed to nearly new. Pastor Chris Williams and his team almost done working on this Toyota Matrix before it's given away to a deserving mother.
She has a child that has some special needs. I think we're on this earth to do more than just lift ourselves up.
Pastor Chris started God's Garage several years ago after he helped a single mother and her child on a stormy night walking on the side of the road.
She'd been walking to church every Sunday and Wednesday. She'd been walking to work. She'd been hitchhiking, which is not safe.
Williams helped that woman that night and vowed to keep giving back to single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military. So he assembled a team. There's Bill, the airline pilot.
I'm no mechanic.
Pastor Chris, a former MMA fighter. Bob, the mechanic. And Harvey, the Houston firefighter.
We share a bond together.
So many others now helping too. So far, God's Garage given away more than 40 cars and repaired over 200. Back to that deserving mother on live TV.
We all just want to bless you with a car this morning.
Susan, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, guys, open that garage and show her her car. The tears started falling.
I just don't know what to say. I never dreamed that this would happen to me.
A blessing for her 6 months in the making. A prayer circle before the send-off. Susan, now in the front seat, her road free of obstacles.
Together we can make an impact that's meaningful, that's lasting.
To the guys of God's Garage, this week's Foti High Five.
High five!
Here's today's Foti High Five.
Year-old Andrew Ross
It's not that fun.
has been in a fight for his life since February.
Nobody wants to get a cancer diagnosis.
His cancer, pancreatic neuroendocrine tumor, is so rare,
There really isn't a treatment plan or algorithm to follow.
it often requires he and his family to travel to get treatment.
It really touched my heart in more ways than one.
Months ago, Amber Hensley heard about Andrew and his army from a friend, and from her post at Southwest Airlines at Hobby Airport, she was determined to do something.
Especially after everything that they've been through.
Hensley went big. Every time the Ross family traveled, Hensley made signs to encourage little Andrew. He saw it at every turn in the airport and in the aircraft. A special visit arranged for Andrew in the pilot's cabin. Here he is, waving goodbye through the front window. On the tarmac, workers held up signs too.
I'm just really surprised that
they really care about me that much.
Andrew helped serve peanuts. He even did the announcement, and on his way back, a stop in St. Louis, this.
He's a soldier.
The gate manager singing his favorite gospel song, From the Heart. Back home in Houston, Andrew, just out of surgery, saw this. Hensley got all of Andrew's friends through security for a welcome home pep rally with signs and chants and lots of tears and hugs.
It was beautiful.
It was exactly what he needed.
It's a hard journey, but you know, when someone goes out of their way to put a smile on your kid's face, you really couldn't ask for more.
This week, a Foti high five to Southwest Airlines, Amber Hensley, and that brave little boy, Andrew Ross.
Oh, wow.
Love it.
Yeah, wow. Chills, chills, chills. We do this every week.
Our Foti High Five takes us on the road to a location kept secret for good reason. A center where hundreds of women are in hiding from their abusers every year and where their kids escape too. We finally arrive. We go through 4 locked doors. It's the first time any media has been allowed in to Miss Ritchie's class.
We have kindergarten through 5th grade.
Miss Ritchie is a teacher here. On any given day, she doesn't know what child, what age, or what circumstance will walk in.
When they come in here, it's a safe place. It's a happy place.
In her own soft-spoken way,
you just try to reach them any way that you can.
She connects in a time when there's so much fear and pain in their young lives. She tells us books, stories usually help, and why Dr. Seuss's Oh, the Places You'll Go,
waiting around for a yes or a no,
is so profound to them.
I had a little girl the first year, most brilliant child I've ever taught. She called this the waiting place. She said this is the most comfortable, safe, beautiful room to wait until our family can go out and start our life again.
Miss Ritchie says education, the way out of the cycle of abuse. Her own story includes a chapter of the same pain her students are feeling.
I had struggles. I had some of the same situations, and if it wasn't for family and friends and a job, I could have been here too.
Most times, Miss Ritchie doesn't get to say goodbye to her students. As unexpected as they come, they go too.
They take a piece of me in their heart. They all tell me that. And they tell me they'll never forget this place.
And for all she does, Miss Ritchie gets this week's Foti High Five.
Thank you.
And Mr. Charles Miles has one incredible comeback story, and it includes a lesson for everyone watching this Memorial Day. It's about the impact a simple thank you can make.
He was just 19 when he was drafted to fight in Vietnam.
We received fire. We had gone into a village and came out.
Charles Miles dodged the bullets, but his friend William Alexander didn't.
William was hit right through the chest or the heart.
William Alexander died. Miles was picked to escort his body home, and as he did,
68 was ugly.
Something happened that would change the course of his young life.
I remember a guy in the airport, a big burly guy. He said, he didn't spit on me, but he spit on the ground. I was really bothered by it, really hurt.
All these years, and it still stings. Miles went back to Vietnam and was wounded in combat. He was sent home, honored with a Purple Heart, but inside, that little boy from Alabama felt broken. He found comfort in drugs, heroin, and eventually cocaine. To pay for his addiction, he committed crimes and found himself in jail, lost his family, and when he got out, he was sleeping on the curb in front of the Star of Hope. Miles says he remembers a man at the shelter day after day who would not give up on him.
He said, you can turn this around.
We gave him that word, hope, and hope turned into a future.
And what a future, a purpose Miles would fulfill. He graduated college, became a pastor, found love again, and now heads the largest veterans vocational program in the country at DeBakey VA Med Center.
I'm going to turn over every rock possible to get them hired.
He's placed hundreds of veterans into the workforce, giving them another chance, giving them hope. And this Memorial Day, he hopes you do one thing that could have changed the course of his life. Just say a simple thank you to a veteran.
And Mr. Charles Miles here at the VA Med Center getting a high five from a lot of the very same people that he has helped along his way. Mr. Miles, a high five to you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for everything you have done. And it's also important to note that Mr. Miles and his wife, also big ambassadors at the Star of Hope. We thank them this morning for everything as we come up to Memorial Day.
Inside Texas Children's Hospital, a special delivery on the way up to the 9th floor.
We're thrilled that a professional athlete would actually give up their medal.
Larry Despain pushing that cart. On it, a treasure box full of running medals, all of them donated.
I'll receive medals in the mail from all over the United States.
The winners of the medals, marathon runners, triathletes, and even Ironmen. Behind every medal, a note included.
Passed away unexpectedly as the result of an undiagnosed heart disease.
It's usually a story of strength and determination.
I hope they will bring great joy.
But sometimes it's one of heartbreak. The story, along with the medal, presented to some special kids fighting in their own race against cancer.
They think that every medal is like winning an Olympic event.
We followed Despain on his lap around the 9th floor.
My name's Larry.
We met Victor Armendariz. He was having a tough day.
The pills, the big ones, I don't like those.
Here's your medal.
Victor given a Kentucky Derby Marathon medal to keep going. An instant smile back on his face.
It makes me happy.
And just outside his room,
hi, Lily,
we found another brave little girl named Lily.
Well, it kind of gives hope, like for all the kids that are here.
She too given a medal for her bravery in battling cancer. And you see the effect. Joy. Despain says it's what keeps him coming back and why he gets this week's Foti High Five.